Back to T-Rod Whiskey, and tonight we're going to take a look at 5 bottles that I think you should be hunting this allocation season, or really any season. Roll the intro. So allocation season is upon us. Once October hits, every whiskey nerd knows this is when you got to bust out your credit card. This is when you got to open up that wallet, right? Because all the super hard to find bottles are going to be attainable, at least for a small period of time, right? Maybe you drive a little bit further, you hunt a little bit longer, but you're looking for that bottle, or at least some bottle that, makes you ooh, makes you ah, gets you super excited, all tight in the pants for it, right? Well, some of us hunt all year round. Yes, it ramps up during allocation season, but I am one of those people where year round, I'm kind of looking for the next it bottle. I'm looking for the next unique drinking experience. And, there's a lot of stuff that's sitting on the shelf that kind of gets glossed over that, maybe it's not super allocated, but maybe you've never tried it. You've never really given it a shot. So I want to talk about a few of those. The first one, and this is probably the least as much on this list, but this is Wild Turkey Kentucky Spirit Single Barrel. And this one, from what I understand, is slowly getting phased out. These are basically Wild Turkey 101 single barrels. This one is a Camp Nelson Warehouse C single barrel. It was bottled on March 23rd of 22. Rick number 1, so not super high up in the warehouse, unfortunately, but still very, very good. Anything from Camp Nelson is one of the bottles that you want to look out for. If it's any of the older ones, you're going to have to kind of do some research, but some of the newer ones will say CN-F, CN-A, B, whatever. That CN stands for Camp Nelson. The reason why Camp Nelson bottles are so highly sought after, those were the warehouses that years and years and years ago, I think in the 60s, Wild Turkey actually bought those warehouses from Seagram's. And the reason why those made such good whiskey, such good bourbon, is because they were metal-sided warehouses. So there's a lot more heat trapped in there to force the whiskey to interact a lot more with the barrels. So you'd get a lot more of that depth of flavor, more of that oakiness, a lot more interaction with the barrels, and just a lot more character that came out of them. About a year, maybe 2 ago, Wild Turkey started demolishing the Camp Nelson warehouses. This was done because they were falling apart, for lack of a better term. Let's see. Next up, Old Dominick. So Old Dominick is a straight bourbon whiskey out of Tennessee. This one in particular is their bottled in bond. I got this as a media sample, I want to say about a year ago, but just super, super good, fantastic bourbon, and just a lot of transparency on the back. If you look at the specifics, the batch size is only 6 barrels, has the barrel entry proof listed at 110. Master distiller is on there, Alex Castle, and it has their distillery number. Obviously bottled in bond, it's bottled at 100 proof, but the mash bill is 52% corn, 44% rye, 4% malted barley. So definitely a barely legal bourbon, a high rye bourbon. But it even says fall of 2017, batch number 1. I love it. I love the detail with, the rooster on the cork. I love the labeling. The whiskey inside is fantastic. I would definitely be on the lookout for really anything that Old Dominick is doing right now, because I don't think they're getting the attention they deserve. I know Bruzel talks about them a lot, but I'm a fan. I hope that they'll be coming to Michigan soon, because I would love to try some of their other expressions. Next up, I'm sure most of you guys are familiar with Evernorth Spirits. This is the label created by the Bourbon Junkies. Specifically, this one is their Spirit Walker Batch 2. Very, very large fan of this one. I enjoy it a lot. This is the one that was finished with Amburana and honey barrels and is just absolutely fantastic. It is probably one of my favorite bottles in the speakeasy right now. Dan and Sean, they're clearly very passionate about what they do, and it shows in their blending. And I can't wait to see what else they come up with in the next couple months, the next couple of years. I wish only the best to them, and hopefully they just keep putting out really, really exceptional bourbon. Number 4, Penelope single barrel, specifically the toasted ones. This is a Char 5, and this pick is from Discount Drinks. It's just really, really good. I got offered a sample as soon as I hit the door when I went into this place, and I couldn't say no. And obviously, came home with it. But anything that Penelope's doing right now is just awesome. It's just lights out fantastic. And then number 5, the big one right now for me, Maker's Mark, the Heart Release. This is fantastic. This is 112 proof. Just amazing. A lot of people online are saying this is better than this year's cellar aged. It is everything that it is billed as. It is sweet. It is maple. It is caramel. It's chocolatey. It is fantastic, fantastic bourbon. I love it. I wish I could find another bottle. And now that they're starting to pop up in Michigan, I will actually be actively hunting for this one. And lastly, I do have a special mention, I guess. Didn't really make it onto the list, but I wanted to talk about them because I do enjoy their whiskey. And that is Taconic, coming out of New York State. Their bourbon is really, really good. It has an unconventional flavor profile, but this is their Duchess Reserve bourbon coming in at 100 proof, and it's really good. It's really good. It is different than a lot of the stuff that you're going to find on the shelves today, but their packaging, this happens to be their holiday packaging from, I want to say this is 2023, but they're doing really, really cool things. They've got their maple cask reserve. They've got some barrel finishes, but their normal shelf bourbons are fantastic. I love the dog on the logo. It's awesome. But if you see Taconic, maybe give them a shot. You know, they do have some of those more leathery, earthy kind of notes, but it's not bad bourbon. It's really not. It's just different than some others might do. And I think they're doing some fantastic, fantastic things there. And I can't wait till they start getting distributed to Michigan as well, because right now there's only a couple of ways I can get these bottles, and I hate paying for shipping because I'm cheap. But that's all I got, guys. Those are 5 or I guess 6 bottles that I think you should be hunting for right now, just to expand your palate, try something a little bit different, you know, maybe kind of cure those allocation season blues if you're not finding what you're looking for. But please make sure to smash that subscribe button. Go ahead and drop a like, leave a comment below, and I'll see you next time. Cheers.